A little while ago, that new God of War game came out, and apparently it's a masterpiece. But man, that box art is about as inspired as the PlayStation All-Stars menu design. For those of you who've been subbed to me for a while, you know I have this thing for good box art, and I've brought up this whole Western trend in the past, where they just slap on a guy looking badass and call it a day. But it's not until I saw the God of War art that I really started to understand what it is that I hate so much about this trend. It's not so much about the format itself, it's about the emotional impact the art conveys, and how ridiculously similar that's become over the past decade. It seems as though almost every single Western release tries to convey one of two ideas. Either we are badasses who fight things, or we are badasses who are posing for the camera. And that's it. There's barely anything else to be discerned here, and that's done on purpose, because at some point, studios figured out that the key to getting the casual market to pick up your game is familiarity. People are a lot more likely to approach something they feel comfortable with, something that they can recognize. And that concept of cool characters looking like badasses is so recognizable here in the West. In a business's eyes, the less foreign ideas being presented, the better. And I think that's why majority of Western box art has been getting so boring and forgettable. For instance, let's look at all the Western boxes for Dark Souls, Nier Automata, and Final Fantasy 15. All three of them are set up differently, they have varying amounts of characters, they even have those characters performing different actions, but all of them convey the exact same thing: a dark ambience and strong badass characters fighting things. There's nothing else here. This imagery reveals nothing about these people and their roles, what they're feeling about the world around them, or how they feel about each other. All of these smaller details are exchangeable, and overall, it's the same emotional impact across the board. Now, let's swap these out for their Japanese counterparts. All of them. Completely different ideas being presented here. This lone character sitting quietly behind a fire. This brief respite from all the chilling horrors of the surrounding darkness. The emotions being presented here are not ones of toughness and triumph. They're ones of calmness and melancholic tranquility. I barely know anything about this game, but I can already tell that there is a deep connection between these two characters. Carrying his near lifeless body not only reveals her devotion and affection, but it also gives off a sense that these characters are going through real conflict. Conflict that they won't be able to just get over or push through unwavering. This can be felt with its use of color as well. There's no vibrancy here. The whole thing is practically colorless. All we get are these pale browns brushed across the smoke and dust emanating from this pile of mechanical debris. Again, the emotions here aren't of coolness and toughness. We get the feeling that these are strong characters, but we also get the feeling that they are struggling in this decrepit world. We can feel the sense of bleakness, sadness, even a bit of hopelessness. This is my least favorite of the three. I appreciated the more simplistic concept they had going for the previous titles, and I think the special edition art is about a million times more expressive. Nonetheless, there's still something here. It may not be doing anything interesting with its use of color or composition, but it still conveys a unique idea. We get the feeling that these characters are more than just a bunch of guys who happen to be fighting together in battle. These are friends. They're bros. As much as Final Fantasy 15 is a game about fighting big things, it has strong themes of companionship and camaraderie. And what better way to convey that than to show this group of close friends talking and laughing among themselves as they make their way down this long road together. It's these unique ideas and emotions that separates each one of these covers from being just another pretty picture. The God of War box art is the epitome of just a pretty picture. There's nothing wrong with it, it looks nice, but I don't get anything from this. I don't feel anything from this. The focus is clearly on Kratos and his son, but their posture and expressions tell me nothing about what kind of people they are, or what kind of world they live in. Who are they? How do they feel about this world? How do they feel about each other? What kind of relationship do they have? All questions that can be explored through imagery, yet we get nothing. It's almost as though a cameraman was there and they told them, yeah, just stand in the least interesting and expressive way possible. Shouldn't we be doing something? Hey, do something, bro. No. Just stand there. Should we be looking at anything? Oh, no. Just stare off into space with a deadpan expression. The most interesting thing here is the fact that they're standing on a boat, which I guess tells me they travel on a boat. Again, it's a pretty picture and there's lots of tiny little details sprung about here, but the core ideas being presented are completely void of any kind of emotion. I've made a video about this stuff before, so I'll keep it short. The decision to make box art like this is not artistic, it's corporate. I can guarantee you that the brilliant God of War artists weren't like, yes, this is exactly what I want people to associate my game with in 20 years, but hey, maybe you don't care, which is very likely. Maybe you don't think this stuff is even worth talking about or appreciating because it's not even part of the game. Well, I disagree. I think that no matter how ridiculously minuscule it may be, stuff like box art has a role to play in the overall experience of a video game. And I feel like we do the community a disservice when we continue to say stuff like, oh, box art doesn't matter, trailers don't matter, title screens don't matter, menu design doesn't matter. This stuff always matters to someone. I care about box art. I know others who care, and I'm willing to bet there are developers who care, or else we wouldn't be getting beautiful stuff like this every so often. So, starting tomorrow, I shall start a new series to focus on box art. Every little while, I will make a short little video highlighting a cover that I think delivers a unique idea and doesn't just opt for the safe, generic route. More times than not, it will be of new or upcoming games, because I want to show my appreciation for the developers who still care about this little thing that I and a few others love so much. So yeah, I will be doing that, I guess. I will, woo! Woo!